Hey everyone, welcome in. Thanks for joining me. My name is Marlene. I'm with Room to Bloom. I'm just getting some traffic going by here, so I figured I'd close the window so you can hear me. We're going to take cards here today from Heart and Soul. It's a deck by Sylvia Brown, and it's an interesting deck. And one thing I do want to say is I've had a couple of different messages come in. I wrote some down earlier, but just recently, one that I'm getting is migrations and patterns, right? Seeing migration. Who is migrating? Are you migrating? Are you, you know, uh, shifting areas for a period of time, right? Are you migrating to another area? That's one of the things that's coming up. The first thing we have is handling divorce. Okay, so are you migrating because you're handling a divorce? Divorce can be a cruel severance of a way of life, a path ending, and change. It happens because one person grows in a different way than their partner does. Divorce is also an opportunity for rebirth, to prove to yourself that you can make it on your own, right? We all grow at different speeds because we're all nourished differently. And also, it's also how are we choosing to nourish ourselves, our goals, our dreams, this type of thing, right? And so when we are not in alignment with uh, someone, we can come to this crossroads. So here's the image there. And of course, that can be challenging, but maybe you're migrating because of that, moving on from one situation to another. This is kind of interesting because we have a bird flying over, and that I just videoed. It's like I was on a walk and I just kept seeing this pattern of the way that these birds they come in from one direction, and the way that they're making noise, right? The way they come in and then they go over to this one area, and then they're there for a while, and different groups fly out, and it's like an airport pattern is what it is. And it's so very interesting. It says letting go of vengeance, right? So is vengeance something that you have been thinking about, especially if you've been going through a divorce? There's an ancient Asian proverb that says, when you seek vengeance, you shall dig two graves, one for the target of your vengeance and one for yourself. Vengeance is universally recognized to be unwise, as it is overt, premeditated action against another person, right? So let go of vengeance, right? Be free, because actually what happens is you free yourself. You free yourself from whatever anger or frustration or whatever that is. Okay, what else do we have here? Exercise, okay? And that's interesting because that's what I was just doing out on this walk. Here, this person, they actually look like they're probably jogging, but if you don't move your body, your brain thinks you're dead. Movement of the body will not only clear out the sludge, but it will also give you more energy. Treat your body like a car. Keep it tuned up, and it will run for a very long time. Very interesting. Keep it tuned up. So in what ways can you tune up your body? Okay, the next one we have is dreams. And here it looks like someone's just kind of resting. Their hair's flowing down. They have flowers in their hair. It says, your dreams can be a vent for all negativity you have absorbed in your waking hours. They can also be used to contact loved ones or to see the future. Before you go to sleep, just ask God what you would specifically like to accomplish in your dreams, and you will be amazed at the results. And the other thing is asking, but also asking like on a piece of paper. And so when you wake up, you can kind of see what came through. Because when you wake up, you might not remember that question right away, right? The next one we have is spirituality. Okay. Spirituality is a constant search to advance our souls for God, even though, even through adversity. If we continually delve into the subject, we will realize a common universal truth. God is good and loves us immensely, right? And that is the truth, right? Anything that's heavy and dark, it's not coming um, from the light aspect, right? Okay, what else do we have? Perceiving your options. So here we have a ship that is, I'm not a ship, pardon me, a boat that is, it's a sailboat, right? And it is moving in the wind. There is always one area in your chart that is up for grabs, be it family, health, personal growth, or finances. You'll know which it is by taking a good look at your life and seeing which area needs the most help. These are your option areas, and you can choose to start programming a better future. So again, imagine like drawing one of those charts, you know, where you kind of fill in how much, like what's going on. So if you drew 4 of those, one for family, one for health, one for personal growth, and one for finances, and where might you be the strongest if they were all at 100%, and what area do you feel like you're not the strongest in? You might start with that, just simply to say, yeah, I'm doing a little better in this area than that area. It can be changed, right? But it gives you a visual, an overview, right? A different perspective. And this word perceiving options, it gives you a different perspective to look at, rather than having it up in here and everything swirling around. It's like, okay, now you've put it on paper and you can look at it and go, okay, now I can take these steps because I see it more clearly, right? The next one we have is self-esteem. We have a lotus flower. The lotus flower goes into the water each night and it comes out every day and it reblooms, right? Try to avoid thinking about what you are not. So that's going inside, right? If people say that they are not happy or they are not rich or they are not good looking and so on, instead think about what you are. I am joyful. I am prosperous. I am beautiful. Your self-esteem will rise immeasurably. So again, what you give life force energy to with your words, I am this, I am that, it's going to make a big difference. I'm being called to split the duck. I have releasing guilt, and here's the other half, by the way. Releasing guilt. So we have a dove on here, and it says guilt is a spiritual killer. The only place guilt has in your life is if you did something to harm another person with malice, which would be really indicative of that other card, like vengeance, right? Or with malice. For example, intentionally harming someone. Otherwise, guilt is useless. It's a useless exercise that destroys spiritual growth. So guilt is very low on the vibrational scale, right? And so just keeping that in mind, we're going to go ahead and go to some messages here from the Archangel Oracle cards. Let's see what comes through from this deck to help you on your journey. All right, what message do you have here for the collective? That's so funny because I was just shuffling this and I felt like I saw a rainbow. And here it looks like a rainbow on the card. Interesting, she's wearing the same color I am. Archangel Mary, and she's holding a baby. Open your heart with compassion and enfold others in love, right? Enfold others in love. Where are you being called to be compassionate right now? The next one I have is Archangel Michael. This is really interesting. I was just at a store, and on the end cap at this store, they had a tiny little sword just sitting there randomly. So it's that those are the little reminders, right? That's the first thing I thought about. In Archangel Michael with the sword, it's like the sword of truth, cutting through things to get to the truth of a situation. Archangel Michael is known as the protector angel. Stand in your power and be true to yourself, right? Often represented by the color blue too. So if you're seeing a lot of blue around you, okay, I just thought that this was like blue for a minute. That's why I thought it was in my hair. Okay, let's see what else we have. Archangel Raphael, and so often Archangel Raphael and Michael work hand in hand. Archangel Raphael is known as the angel of healing, right? And so he's got in his hand that bowl, and it looks like herbs in there. See with enlightened eyes and open to abundance, right? Open to abundance. Archangel Charity. Give with an open heart and be generous, right? Very lovely. Very lovely message. Give with an open heart. So this can, if you're not giving and you're only hanging on to things, it can create blockages. So the idea is to let things flow, right? Let things move through your experience, if you will, right? So you might have something and enjoy it for a while and then pass it on to someone else. Or if you get something, you hold it for a while and pass it on to someone else. Or you don't hold it, but you are the one who gets something for someone else. I say someone, but others, right? Okay, the next one we have is Archangel Muriel. This is really beautiful. Here they're holding an incense dish over the water, and there's floral flowers around it with petals falling into the water. Trust your own wisdom and have faith in your psychic impressions, right? Have faith in your psychic impressions. So if you, I have goosebumps. If you have a conversation with a friend and you just ask these questions, but you don't ask them to give you the answer right away, you maybe have them write an answer down. And then you can feel like you're guessing, but sit for a few minutes and see if you can get it right, where you're tapping into certain energy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take one more. I'm sorry, I have a something flew in through the top here. Okay, Archangel Amethyst. Purify your life with love. Prepare for something better. Prepare for something better. Really lovely message. So we're going to keep this one short. I want to say thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Take care.